It's time to relax, grab a drink, pull up a chair by the hearth, and have a seat in the Skald Circle to listen to the tale of the Cat of Norrhultal from Swedish Folklore as told by Casimir. Before we begin our story, we wanted to remind you that we release new tales for free every week. Our shorter tales release on Wednesdays, and our longer chapter stories release on every other Saturday. Find out where you can hear them on our website at theskaldcircle.com. And be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way, you'll never miss out on one of our enchanting tales from around the world. And this is the tale of the Cat of Norrhultal from Swedish Folklore as told by Casimir. On the estate of Norrhult, in the parish of Rumskala, the people in olden times were very much troubled by trolls and ghosts. The disturbances finally became so unbearable that they were compelled to desert house and home and seek asylum with their neighbours. One old man was left behind, and he, because he was so feeble he could not move with the rest. Some time thereafter, there came one evening a man having with him a bear, and asked for lodgings for himself and companion. The old man consented, but expressed doubts about his guest being able to endure the disturbances that were likely to occur during the night. The stranger replied that he was not afraid of noises and laid himself down with his bear near the old man's bed. Only a few hours had passed when a multitude of trolls came into the hut and began their usual clatter. Some of them built the fire in the fireplace, others set the kettle upon the fire, and others, again, put into the kettle a mess of filth, such as lizards, frogs, worms, etc. When the mess was cooked and the table was laid, the trolls sat down to their repast. One of them threw a worm to the bear and said, "Will you have a fish, kitty?" Another went to the bear keeper and asked him if he would not have some of their food. At this, the latter let loose the bear, which struck about him so lustily that soon the whole swarm was flying through the door. Some time after, the door was opened again, and a troll with a mouth so large it filled the whole opening peeked in. "Sick him," said the bear keeper, and the bear soon hunted him away also. In the morning, the stranger gathered the people of the village around him and directed them to raise a cross upon the estate, and to engrave a prayer on Cross Mountain, where the trolls dwelt, and they would be freed from their troublesome visitors. 7 years later, a resident of Norrhult went to Norrköping. On his way home he met a man who asked him where he came from, and upon being informed, claimed to be a neighbour, and invited the peasant to ride with him on his black horse. Away they went at a lively trot along the road, the peasant supposed, but in fact high up in the air. When it became quite dark, the horse stumbled so the peasant came near falling off. "It is well you were able to hold on," said the horseman. "That was the point of the steeple of Loköping's cathedral that the horse stumbled against. Listen," continued he. 7 years ago I visited Norrhult, and you who then had a vicious cat. Is it still alive?" "Yes, truly, and there are many more," said the peasant. After a time the rider checked his horse and bade the peasant dismount. When the latter looked around, he found himself at Cross Mountain near his home. Some time later, another troll came to the peasant's cottage and asked if the great savage cat still lived there. "Look out," said the peasant, "she is still lying there by the oven, and has 7 young ones, all worse than she." "Oh," cried the troll, and rushed for the door. From that time, no trolls have ever visited Norrhult. And that is the tale of the Cat of Norrhultal from Swedish Folklore. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, we recommend taking a look at our Patreon page, as noted in the description below. You can earn great rewards while also supporting us, to keep these stories alive for generations to come. Also, remember to subscribe to us on your podcast app, and leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed this story. A special thank you to Cat for their support this month. Without your contribution, we wouldn't be able to continue these stories, and we truly appreciate it. Visit theskaldcircle.com to stay up to date with all of our current events, news, and much more. Not only that, but you can also visit our story archive of every tale we have ever told. It's sorted by origin and region for the convenience of your listening pleasure. Thank you for listening to our story.